Yo, what's going on, man? Free game all day, man. You know what it is, man. Like, subscribe my channel, man. Hit that like button, man. Hey, look here. So I'm finna tell y'all something, man. For the fellas, and I ain't gonna just say fellas. I'll say people in general. Listen, you have to be careful when you talk to these people and they tell you about their past, because if you're dealing with a person that has been hurt or has trauma in their past life, like seriously, like they've been like through they got a lot of mom and daddy issues. You know, they just come from a real dysfunctional background. I'm gonna tell you something. Be careful before you invest in these people. Like, these people don't understand normal, caring, understanding people. They look at that shit like it's a weakness. So when you meet somebody who's very empathetic, and see, this is what people don't understand. Those situations that's like that creates narcissistic people. So when you're dealing with someone that come from a very, very dysfunctional background, they don't understand that kind of love. Like, they just don't. You know, like they take that as like being like you a target, like you somebody they can run over, you somebody that they can, you know, just pretty much do whatever the fuck they want to do to. And they will abuse the situation, they will abuse you. So before you develop all this love and all this understanding and all this caring about somebody like that, you have to be real with yourself and think about it like, hold on, let me make sure I know what I'm getting myself into. Fuck how they look, fuck what they got. You know what I'm saying? Cause this is the thing, man. That's only just one aspect of it. Like, that's not even the whole thing. That's just one part of it. So you got the trauma part and dysfunction. Now, here comes the manipulation, and here comes the user in the motherfucker. Cause people will use, they will portray and act like they really like you a lot. They love bomb you and to get you in. You know what I'm saying? So you invest in them so you can care about their needs and wants. You know what I'm saying? You have to be careful for all this shit. And the main thing about all of this, like, people will have all of this and they will still throw God in it, try to make it seem like it makes sense. But most of the time, these people, they're gonna have a sad story. They're gonna tell you about how this is going on, how this is happening. I want you to understand something. A lot of times when you meet people and it's a lot of bad shit going on in their life and they're like, man, I can't believe this happening, this is happening. Let me tell you something. A lot of times that be shit that they didn't already did, they're coming back on them. And you might not be aware of it. You might not even recognize the shit, like, oh, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You know, you just might be, you know, just want to be there for them because you're being solid, you're being 100. But you have to be careful and wary of all this stuff. Like, these are like very notable signs, like, so you won't run into like another situation that somebody's trying to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will act like they got your back. People will act like they are down for you. They act like they care about you. They act like they really, really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? But they only fuck with you only for what you can possibly do for them in the long run. You know what I'm saying? People with this trauma and stuff, they are not the kind of people you want to really be investing in. Like, you hear somebody tell you that they come from a broken home, which, you know, a lot of people do. We come from broken homes, and, you know, and they witness, like, you know, a lot of shit happening, like, in their life, like, with, like, people, like, you know, abusive relationship their mom and dad was in, you know what I'm saying, or they was raped, or they was molested, or it's like all kind of shit, you know, that happened, or they was coming from an abusive relationship with a guy. And, you know, most of the time, some people now, they are in some legit abusive relationships, but it's a lot of people who's in those relationships that plays a big part in them too. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got some women that will hit a man and then they'll hit him and turn right around and want to call the police after he didn't retaliate after them hitting him. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, like, overall, man, there's a lot of different situations that you have to take accountable of when you're dealing with people, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, like, this situation is not peaches and cream. This is not what they, act like was ideal. You know what I'm saying? Before you get into that, you got to understand that, man. You got to think about your well-being. You got to think about the shit that you actually like, your future. Because I'm telling you, these people, man, they are not who they say they are. Try to invest you coming in, like, moving in with them, and to try to, like, just invest in them so early, like, so, love bombing you, doing all this shit. These people have a bad history with relationships. You have to pay attention to this type of stuff, because if you don't, I promise you'll get caught up in some shit and you're not gonna know. Majority of the relationships that happen out here in this world that people go through is because they didn't take out the time to do their research. They didn't try to understand this person. They didn't try to research the shit about this person. You know what I'm saying? And it's lack of knowledge, because they're giving them the benefit of the doubt. And I'm telling you, you have to actually pay attention to these signs. I'm very, very guilty of not paying attention. Being caught up with sex, being so caught up in just dealing with somebody and, thinking their heart is pure as mine. Everybody's heart is not going to be pure as yours. And I'm going to tell you something. The worst thing you can do is let your heart turn bitter toward loving again. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to pay attention to when people are, like, doing certain things to where, you had to kind of take a step back. And I'm telling you, a lot of these people had the same signs. They had the same issues in life. As far as, like, them, it comes from a lot of parent issues. People have bad parent issues. They come from not loving parents. They coming from, abusive relationships. They don't know. It's just like a kid acted up in school. You know what I'm saying? You go to school and you're like, damn, why this motherfucker in school, like, he's so bad? Where this shit coming from? They picking on kids, they doing all this shit. That shit come from some shit going on at the house. You know what I'm saying? They got too many issues and they don't know how to handle this shit. And they don't know how to really, so a lot of times people, men and women, they get in relationships and they dealing with somebody who's innocent, who is pure, who is not volatile like that. And they don't try to change that person, but it's more like they're envious that this person has some kind of peace in their heart and they're nice. And it's like, why are you so nice? What you so happy about? Because they don't have that peace in their heart. A lot of people lack peace, and they think peace coming from other individuals out here in the streets. They think peace comes from a lot of people, and it don't come from themselves. So at the end of the day, man, I promise you, man, be careful about these people that you actually really investing in, because these people don't lack that kind of peace, that kind of just self-love. You know what I'm saying? They insecure. They don't really know what they want to do. They lacking a lot of different stuff. And they run into these people in the streets to kind of substitute for, and think that the happiness that they bring to them is gonna make everything better. And that's not what it is. You gotta be happy within yourself. You gotta just be a good person overall. That's all you gotta really do. But it's all good, man. Free game all day, man. Y'all be easy.